Welcome to my bite-sized talk, full of memes. The goal of my talk is to make you laugh. If you learn anything, that's bonus. I had to include a bite meme, and so what to expect, this is the base of what to expect based on memes. My name is Bram Patelski. I am a DevSecOps engineer with a background in Java at Ordina. So let's get started. I've got a few topics. The first one is password security. Why passwords? Again, it's boring. You probably all do something with software development, and these are some examples of where things go wrong. Uber was recently hacked with a phishing attempt, and the good thing was they had multi-factor authentication. The bad thing was that the attackers bombed everyone with multi-factor authentication requests until someone clicked yes, just to get rid of it. That worked. SolarWinds was hacked a few years ago with the password SolarWinds123. Their code repositories were attacked as well, so that's why how that attack worked. A little bit more in the history, the entire Xbox developer network was hacked by moderately able kids that just found reused passwords and infected the whole network. That's a really nice story. That's displayed in detail in the Darknet Diary episodes. It's a podcast that I use and listen to quite often. Episode 45 is really fun. The second part of that is episode 46, which is a little bit less fun. It gets a little bit darker. But this is why password hygiene is very important. So let me ask a quick question. This guy is called Forrest Gump. I think you all know it. And he has a password, which is pretty easy to guess. Anyone want to guess? Chocolate, I hear a lot. His name is in the password. One Forrest Run. It has a number, had uppercases, lowercases, etc. So it might pass all of the password complexity rules. This is a really weak password. And why is this weak? Because it's predictable. And that's the main problem with passwords. If they're predictable or they have some kind of system, then they're pretty weak. So this is the first slide that the only slide that you really need to remember on passwords is make them LURP. It's not LARP, which is live action role playing. LURP is long, unique, and random passwords. That's the most important thing. TLDR, use password managers, because you're not going to remember hundreds of passwords for all your accounts. So this is all I have to say. Thank you. Now we'll dive into each of those in a little bit detail. So a long password is always better, and the longer you make your password, the harder it is to guess. This is even more effective than complexity, using all of those weird symbols, etc., which just makes you not remember your password anyway. Length always beats complexity. And what I tend to do is I got my password manager, generate a password of 60 plus characters, 50 plus characters, and then I get this screen, your password is too long, which is really odd because if done correctly, a password of 1 or 100 characters is always the same length to store with hashing. That's a technical, which I'll not dive into. The second one, unique. If I ask any one of you, can I have your password? You probably say no. It's my password, it's secret. But if I know your hobbies and I create a really nice website based on your hobbies and I ask you, would you like to make an account? It's totally free on my website. You'll probably say, yes, of course, it's free. And then I have your password. So if you reuse your password, I've got your password. And if this is a multi-million-dollar cyber budget of your company, then this is what password reuse looks like. Because it's meant to provide you access to the systems. It's the one entry point that supplies entry. So random, the picture speaks for itself. Note the random garbage username. This is also something that you can use to secure your account. It's not often used. Admin is one of the oldest vulnerabilities still in existence. It's really hard to get rid of this, especially with default accounts, etc. So make it random. Now what? We have to change our passwords. Not this way. But make them LURP. This does, aside from the Dutch tax office, if there's anyone from the Dutch tax office and this is old and this has been replaced, please let me know so I can update my slides. But let's make a really nice, hard, complex, strong password based on these rules. You can read them, but I'll just step through the main ones. Let's use 1 uppercase characters because it's required. It says at least 4 lowercase characters. Well, let's make it 5. It requires us either a number or a symbol. Well, a number. Well, you know what? We'll just add an extra symbol. But if we do both, it's probably very strong. Strong password. Tax office secure. Excellent. Oh, by the way, 141 also adheres. It doesn't have a number and a symbol, but it's also adheres to these rules. So why is this a bad password? It has been leaked about 84,000 times. This is the result from Have I Been Pwned, the API that you can ask for in a secure manner. Is this password in any data breach? Yes, password is in there with the @ and the number. Password rotation, this is what we do. Just add a number. Each 3 months or each 6 months, just increase the number. So this doesn't make any of your passwords stronger. It just makes them predictable because I know now what your password will be in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, etc. Choosing a new password is really hard. You may not notice it, but there's no endpoint in this graph. So also you have to get creative. This is a password someone configured in his Mac OS because he could spin up a virtual emoticon keyboard when changing his passwords. For those that don't recognize this is Let It Go from the movie Frozen in emoticons. And he thought it was a good idea until he found out that in the actual login screen, he couldn't spin up the emoticon keyboard. So he was locked out of his laptop. One thing that we always say is, remember your password. Put it in your head. Yeah, those hundreds to 300s accounts, I'm not going to do that. But should you write it down then? Because we always say, don't write down your passwords, especially not on the bottom of your keyboard. Well, that's correct. Don't write it down on the bottom of your keyboard. But if you don't know how to, or you don't want to, or there's some reason that you can't use a password manager, buy one of those password notebooks. If your friends and family are not that able to use technology in a way that is meant to be used, just buy them one of those password notebooks. It's just a telephone book with different columns. It's about, 10 euros, and write down the passwords. That is much more secure than reusing the password over and over again on all of your accounts. So lesson on this is, don't remember your passwords. You have 1 or 2 passwords, one to get into your laptop, one to get into your password manager. Make those really strong. They don't have to be complex. They can be just 5 random words, strong enough. So, password manager. Cryptography. Why? Because it's not that easy. Crypto, in this case, is cryptography, not cryptocurrencies. Also not crypto is base 64 encryption. This is encoding. You don't need anything to reverse it. Just know that it's base64 or some other encoding scheme, which is often also recognizable. Not all cryptography is created equally. MD5 is a hashing algorithm, which has been proven broken. SHA-1 is also a hashing algorithm, which is also weak. SHA-2, at least on enough bits, is strong enough. A little bit on cryptocurrency. Bitcoin uses SHA-2 and 256 bits. So that's about hashing. Well, there are stronger algorithms. There's one of these four that is the odd one out. Anyone can recognize it? It's actually the first one. The first one is an encryption algorithm with a key space of 26, one of which is the same as the original input, just jump X letters in the alphabet. The rest is hashing, which is not reversible. Also in crypto, don't invent your own algorithms, because even the best people in the world tend to make failures. This picture is Bruce Schneier. He wrote a few books on encryption. He invented Blowfish in '93, and then 1 or 2 years later he said, don't use Blowfish because it's weak, it's vulnerable. So even the best people tend to make mistakes in crypto because it's really, really, really hard to do correctly. Star Wars, I don't think I'll spoil anything, but they have these awesome technology with lasers and hyperspace travel faster than light. But if you pull out a hard disk from a secret station, then you've got all the data because it was not encrypted at rest. A little bit on risks and risk analysis. Sometimes you use a pretty darn good encryption scheme and you think, well, the only way to crack this is with multi-million-dollar hardware. And if we use a stronger algorithm, or in a few years' time, that might be able to break. Well, in reality, there's always the easy way. Just threaten someone with the keys, and then you have to defend against that. Lessons learned on this is security and crypto is complex. Everyone is a part of software development, which includes security. So please take your responsibility in at least knowing the fundamentals. But also try to have security champions and dedicated security teams to help you with the complex stuff. How much time do I have left? 3 minutes? Okay. I've got one more bonus topic, code quality. The difference between what your customer sees and what you see as a developer. So this is what happens when you prioritize features over maintainability. This will obviously result in risk, and I don't want to be the person that is going to fix problems in production. So I would like to fix bugs before they go to production. This, once again, is a very on-topic, relevant picture. There is actually a guy in Nebraska thanklessly maintaining code of a package called a GPSD. He didn't get paid, but this picture actually is relevant for OpenSSL. Again, unfortunately, I think this picture was created after Heartbleed. Last week there was another high vulnerability issue in OpenSSL, but it also, last year we had Log4Shell, we had Spring4Shell, we had recently Apache Commons Text. All small projects maintained by a few people that support the internet and the world. A few other examples, LeftPad by NPM had because of a brand infringement of another project of the maintainer, he pulled it off of NPM and the whole internet broke. We have to understand that developers make code probably more than once in their lifetime, except for this guy. He'll probably make one mistake. But that does not mean that if we have a piece of old code, that we can't add new features. Yeah. That's my talk. Please, if you like it, please rate my talk. If you don't like it, or you can improve it, also rate my talk and leave a comment. Thank you. Any questions?